Well, good afternoon, everyone. Todd Nelson again with the 501 Biz Masterclass series. We have put these videos together so that business owners like you, key decision makers in businesses, can get some of the information that I know when I was a business owner, it was hard for me to find. And we wanted to bring the experts together in one place, in one channel, that you can get some of these really important answers to questions that you may not even know that you needed to ask. So again, today we have Wayne Bergman joining us again for part two of our conversation around. He's a business coach. Wayne, if I remember correctly, you've been doing this for uh, 20 years, decades anyway, and so brings a wealth of information, wealth of experience in what it looks like as a business coach to help businesses get to that place where they consider not only selling the business, because he doesn't deal with the actual selling of the business. It's how do you prepare for it, and then what do you do afterwards, right?
Mhm.
I have somebody in my firm that retired, and he said, if I don't continue to work, I don't know what I'm going to do. As a small business owner, you've spent your life on that. So Wayne, let's dive right back in on this conversation, and we're going to pick up and say, okay, as we're looking at selling the business, I think the key question is, will you have the resources that you need to continue to have your lifestyle or whatever? How do you go about determining what that looks like?
Well, as I said in the our first session, is that's part of the owner's goal setting. So what I
Okay.
normally do is I'll have six business goals and six personal goals, and this is the six personal goals and it's an interesting thing to go through with these people, and I force them to, or I ask them. I can't force anyone to do anything, but to go sit down with their spouse and other key stakeholders in this decision and say, okay, what do you guys want? And some of the retirement is the goals are different. I want to be able to do X, or I just want to be debt free. It's all over the map, and it depends on the size and um, the level of success the business owner has achieved.
Sure, sure.
But as you know, so it goes back to you, is what it to me it would be the same conversation that you're going to go after is, okay, what are the retirement needs that you
Mhm.
see coming from business owners? What do you see as a financial advisor when you have that conversation? Because one of the assets is the business, is the sale, what they're
Absolutely.
taking out of the business, sorry, what they're earning from the business now, what they're putting away with your work. But the bigger part is when they have spent their whole life or career building this asset, how much of that is going to be usable by their financial advisor? So what do you see?
Absolutely.
What do you see as it when you get a large asset, 401k or whatever from
Sure.
non-business owners? So what do you see from business owners that they look at for their retirement funding or their financial security? What do you see?
I mean, honestly, you have to make that mental shift that the paycheck from the business, now you're going to have to figure out, what does that paycheck look like now, right?
Exactly.
And so that's going to be your biggest thing. And I just heard of somebody that retired, and they took him and their three children on I think it was a 2-year cruise. Tickets were $180,000 a piece. Well, he spent $750,000. Well, if that's part of your plan, then yeah, you need to clue me in on that, because that's a big part of the plan. But the whole deal
And
is,
that's a good example of what might be in the personal goals as a
exactly.
as a reward to the family to say,
Sure.
okay, I'm hanging up my spurs and let's go party or
Yeah, absolutely.
let's go travel the world.
Absolutely.
Well, okay, what kind of budget do you need?
Yeah.
And then what I see with owners is they may have that dream and that's great, but as you mentioned, so the current income from a salary, an appropriate salary as the business owner, the distributions from the business, but now the lump sum from the sale of the asset, that
Absolutely.
that reality has to be worked out. That number has to look good.
Well, and especially when you look at a lot of business owners will look to sell to family first or,
Yep.
whatever. That gets to be a really sticky series of negotiations
Hmm.
because they're family, yeah, but they may not want to pay dad or mom.
Well,
you,
that's
you
it. That's what
know,
and again, that's a surprise that comes up when you wait too long to have that conversation and
yeah,
you're not educating the family members or the employees of what the succession looks like. That the
yeah,
longer you wait, the bigger the surprise because the person at the end is sitting there going, "Okay, I've had enough. I want to sell my business at the end of the year." Well, I'm not sure that's a good idea, you know, because
so do you have a time frame of when you think that planning should start?
well, most of
Like
the
5 years
I follow
previous or
like you, I follow what the industry standards are, and again, it
okay.
depends. But we're gonna talk about this in the next section. Is I would call it the ready for sale process, and but the ready for sale process really shouldn't take place until the financial goal process is completed. Is it? That's how I look at it. So
Sure. Yep.
if I have a business owner that wants to travel the world, okay, let's put a kind of a pro forma budget together on what you need annually to do that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to take that trip. Great. Let's put that in the wish list. And how is it going to be funded?
Yeah.
Now,
Absolutely.
not every business owner can take five people on at a $900,000
Right. Right.
road trip, but not everybody can do that. But
Yeah.
there's similar levels of post retirement enjoyment that has to be
Absolutely.
funded. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I think we'll cover more of that in the next session, but obviously the things that I think that Wayne, you and I would agree on is estate planning,
yep,
um, you know, uh, depending on the amount that you're looking at, does a family office or a family limited
yep.
partnership or, uh,
Are there philanthropy goals that you want to
are there
continue?
philanthropy?
All of
Absolutely.
that
Absolutely.
all of that has to be funded with the next conversation.
Yeah. And I think to wrap up this session, I think that is part of the reason that this Biz 501 is we're trying to reinforce that it takes a team.
Hmm.
You can't just look to Wayne to give me all the answers. You can't just look to Todd to give me all the answers.
Mm-mm.
It takes a team that has the expertise in, and we're going to have some sessions with the CPA and all of that stuff. It really does take a team. So, Wayne, thanks so much for directing our attention in this session on. Are you going to have the resources necessary? And in the next one, we're going to this last session between the two of us, we're going to talk about is your business really ready for sale? So appreciate your time again,
Excellent.
Wayne, and look forward to the next session.
All right, Todd. Thank you.
Hey, welcome back.